Florence Scovel Shinn wrote that God sees man perfect, created in his own image, and given power and dominion. This is the perfect idea of man, registered in the divine mind, awaiting man's recognition. For man can only be what he sees himself to be, and can only attain what he sees himself attaining. Two things from this. First of all, God has given us power and dominion. That is a nod to Genesis 1, where God, the Elohim, created humans, and that is what he gave to us. He gave us power and dominion, and he charged us to demonstrate this power and dominion. So if you ever feel helpless or hopeless, like life just happens to you, then this is something you should keep in mind, that we actually have power and we actually have dominion. We have sovereignty. It's like God used his sovereignty to give us sovereignty over our lives. And so you should be aware of that power and work with it. Now, the power is going to be important for the second point, which is that man can only can only be what he sees himself to be. Say it again. Man can only be what he sees himself to be. Do you know what this means? Let's think about it for a second. So many of us truly believe that, let's say, God has a plan for our lives and that God's going to give us this plan. And then we're going to look up one day and see it done. Or we're going to walk out of our homes and experience the life that God has set up for us. And we believe we can doubt and worry and fear, but somehow God's going to make it happen for us. Or we even believe that it will just happen somehow, like the universe is going to make it happen for us. But Florence is saying something so different. She is saying that you can only be what you see yourself being. Like, you are your limit. And she has said this so many ways in this chapter of the book, The Game of Life and How to Play It, that you can only get what you have given, that you get back what you put out, that you can only be what you see yourself being. So right away, I'm going to say you have to think about what it is you want to be, what it is you want to do, and dream bigger dreams for yourself, because you are limited by yourself. You need to dream bigger dreams for yourself because you are the one that limits yourself. And it's only once you have dreamt those dreams that God can step in and help you. You know, God is awaiting your recognition. God is awaiting you. Like, when you step up to have a vision for your life or your next year, then the divine mind, then infinite intelligence, then God and the universe can go to work to help you out. But every one of them waits for you. Every single one of them waits for you to see yourself being something. And only then can they step in. You are the first mover. They wait for you. It's going back to the power and dominion. That's why we need to recognize how much power we have. We can only attain what we see ourselves attaining. Like, let's recognize our power and just switch it up. Instead of believing that, God's going to make it happen and we just experience it. Recognize that we have to believe in ourselves and have a vision for ourselves and hope for ourselves. Recognize what we can be, that God sees us as perfect, created in his own image. Like, we have to recognize that. And once we do, it sets in motion so many forces and so many powers. Like, let's believe Florence Scovel Shinn, and like, let's see what it actually looks like when we put her ideas to work. I make videos on Florence all the time. I actually study all of her books. So The Game of Life and How to Play It, The Power of the Spoken Word, and so on. So if you like these kinds of videos, subscribe, leave a comment actually too. I read all the comments and I do reply. So as always, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time.